Yeah, my chaps, Martin here, Free Radio Swindon. This is a broadcast of a radio interview, a very important one, that John Humphreys did with Theresa May, our Prime Minister, on probably our prime broadcaster, a skillful and good broadcaster. And people in Britain trust him, and people in Britain don't trust her.
In 5 days from now, MPs will vote on the Brexit deal, the vote that will not only decide Britain's future in Europe, but the future of the Prime Minister. It has already precipitated a constitutional crisis in Parliament. Theresa May lost 3 important votes in a matter of hours on Tuesday. And she will lose again next Tuesday on the crucial vote, or so the parliamentary arithmetic tells us. That is the vote on the deal that she spent the last couple of years negotiating with the EU. The deal that spells out the terms of our withdrawal from Europe, and then what? Well, Mrs May is with me. Good morning, Prime Minister.
Good morning, John.
Now, I said the vote on Tuesday, but I read this morning that many of your cabinet ministers, or at least some of them, are saying we must delay the vote. Is there anything in that?
We're going to have. We're in the middle of 5 days of debate in Parliament, which will lead up to a vote on this issue. And if I may, John, in your introduction there, you said that what people are voting on is our withdrawal from the European Union. They're voting on the deal that I've negotiated. And this is a good deal for the UK because it's got 2 parts to it. And this is why I wanted to pick your point up. Part of it is about the withdrawal from the European Union, but the other part is about our future and our future relationship with the European Union. What this deal does is it delivers on the referendum. It delivers on sovereignty by ensuring that the Court of Justice doesn't have jurisdiction in the UK anymore. It delivers on not sending vast sums of money to the EU every year. It delivers on an end to free movement. But the reason you asked the question about Parliament is because there are concerns about part of that withdrawal bit of the deal, which is what's come to be called the backstop. And I recognise that there are those concerns, but there are just 2 points, if I may, to make about this. First of all, any deal, any agreement, any arrangement that we came to with the European Union would involve a backstop. So people talk about let's have a Norway or let's have a Canada. Everything involves a backstop. And secondly, none of the other arrangements that people have put forward fully deliver on the referendum. This deal delivers on the referendum.
All right, let's pick up on some of that in a moment. Let's go back to my original question. Is there any possibility, have you even considered, has it been recommended to you that you, one way or the other, delay the vote happening next Tuesday evening?
No, what we're doing at the moment, John, is...
I know what you're doing, and I'm just wondering whether it's possible that you might delay it.
No, what I'm doing is leading up to a vote on Tuesday.
No, I understand that.
Because we're having the debate. Yes, I'm meeting colleagues, I'm listening to colleagues' concerns.
About this particular issue, about delaying it?
Well, no, not about delaying it. But I'm listening to colleagues' concerns around this issue, this aspect of our withdrawal, which is the backstop. Now, the backstop is our guarantee to the people of Northern Ireland. It's a guarantee about not having a hard border between Northern Ireland and Ireland. But I recognise there are concerns from colleagues about the role of Parliament, about the sovereignty of the UK in relation to that issue. So I'm talking to colleagues about how Parliament might have and how we can look at Parliament having a role in the going into that and if you like, and the coming out of
Well,
that.
Parliament's already decided for itself that it will have a role. The question really is what you can offer Parliament now that you haven't already offered them to satisfy them, because you don't have the support in Parliament, as you very well know at the moment, to get it through.
Oh, I think you said Parliament has made its view on its role clear. No, that's what this debate and the vote is about, Parliament looking at this deal. And
Parliament, well, just for the benefit of the listeners, Parliament has basically said, hasn't it, if you fail, then Parliament takes over.
Now, there have been some attempts to, and there are continuing, if you look at some of the proposals that have been put forward in relation to amendments to the vote next week, attempts to take off the table certain possibilities. But actually there are 3 options here. As we go ahead, there are 3 options. One is to leave the European Union with a deal. I've negotiated a deal. The EU have made it clear it's the deal. But it's not just the deal, it's a good deal, and it's a deal that delivers on the referendum.
The problem with that deal is that you haven't sold it to Parliament.
Sorry, John, I said there were three options.
All right,
let me talk about one of them. If I can get to remind everybody what the other two are, because the other two are that we leave without a deal, or that we have no Brexit at all. And I'm absolutely clear that we have a duty to deliver on the vote of the British people in 2016, and that was a vote in the referendum to leave the EU.
And the problem with that is that you are unable, have been unable thus far, and there's no reason to suspect that it's going to change in the next few days, unable to sell it to Parliament, or at least to enough MPs to carry it on Tuesday evening.
Well, we haven't actually had the vote yet,
No,
John.
that's true, but you can do the arithmetic as well as I can.
But when it comes to that vote, I think what MPs will be thinking of, as I say, there are three options that are available to people. One is that we leave the EU with a deal, and this is a good deal, and it does deliver on the referendum, or that we have no deal. And, you know, there are some people who say, well, let's take no deal off the table. But actually, the only way to take no deal off the table is to have a deal and to agree the deal. Some, and there are some, if you listen to the debate that takes place in Parliament, if you've listened to the many questions I've been asked in Parliament at PMQs and when I made statements to the House of Commons on this issue, it's clear that there are those in the House of Commons who want to frustrate Brexit. I think actually the opposition are doing that. The opposition are just trying to...
and many of your own colleagues,
Brexit.
of course.
No, but there are those who also want to frustrate Brexit and overturn the vote of the British people. That's not right.
Can you, should you, are you thinking of giving them a separate vote on the backstop? Is that feasible?
The backstop is an integral part of the withdrawal
So you can't
agreement.
separate it? That cannot be done?
As I said earlier, the backstop's an integral part of the withdrawal agreement, but the backstop would be an integral part of any withdrawal agreement and of any deal that was negotiated with the